Guide Rigs episode 1. What we've got here is a 1652 entirely welded aluminum hull that I guess would be pretty commonly used for duck hunting or, you know, kind of traversing any shallow water that you might want to get across. But for our purposes, I've decked it out, obviously, for fly fishing. 16 feet long, not including the sponsons, and the bottom of the boat is 52 inches wide. Some of the things that make it specific, or, you know, make this boat perform as a guide boat for fly fishing is jet motor. So we've got a Tohatsu 6040 4-stroke here. We've also got a shallow, about 2.5 inch tall jet tunnel underneath here that allows this jet foot to sit up nice and high relative to the water, and also relative to any rocks that might be heading your way. Also these sponsons here, AKA float boxes, they provide a lot of buoyancy on the back end of this boat because we're hanging a relatively heavy motor off the back, and we have anglers standing back here when we fish. Helps keep the back end of the boat nice and high when we're maneuvering with the oars. So that's probably the next part of these boats that makes them specific to what we do on this river. You know, we maneuver upriver on the motor, obviously. It allows us to cover a lot of water, but then when we stop and it's time to fish, you obviously don't want your outboard running and scaring fish. So we've got a Yeti 65 mounted here with the pad, NRS oar mounts so that you can climb in. Hell, I'll just hop in and show you. Once you reach your destination, you put an angler fore, an angler aft, hop on the oars, and get busy.
So why are you using this jet-powered outboard in the first place? Like, what's the advantage of having this as opposed to just using a raft or a drift boat or something?
So for instance, on this river, there are not a ton of access points, and that's a pretty common occurrence in Texas because we are a pretty privately held state. There's not a ton of public land and not a ton of public access points. So we can put in the morning in this boat. If we need to run 5 miles upriver, that's great. If we need to go 10 miles, 15 miles, that's a little more rare, but it can be done in this boat. Also eliminates a shuttle. You don't have to drop a car off downstream in the morning and then double back, all of which can cut into your fishing time. So these rigs allow us to cover a lot of water, eliminate shuttles, and to get into some spots that you may not be otherwise able to with vessels that don't move quite as fast. I'll say this, if you guys anybody ever thinks about decking one of these boats out, it's a little dirty. We just finished with the trip. So, however, this HydroTurf / Sea Deck, it's 1/4 inch thick. I've got it everywhere that you might want to stand or touch in this boat because, especially in Texas, if you look at this bare aluminum right here, I can't hardly even keep my hand on it right now without getting roasted. So anyhow, keeps things quiet, cool, comfortable on your feet, and allows you to fish longer with less discomfort, which is
I did notice that it was a lot quieter running the boat than I'm used to in aluminum boats. So it definitely makes a difference. And I'm sure if you drop something in the boat while you're fishing, it's a lot less likely to spook every fish for a 1/4 of a mile.
It's essentially an aluminum drum in a certain sense, but it definitely helps. Yeah.
Awesome.
Cool.